Welcome back, you beautiful people, to another lesson in Advanced Excel. And today we're going to be talking about how to correct dates in invalid format using the tab to text column feature, the text to column feature under the data tab. Okay. Um, and we are on the still on the dates file under level one. We are on sheet 3. Okay, so let's open the first grouping here, the grouping by row 13. Okay, now in case one here, what I have here, I have a list of invalid dates here, as you can see, and we have what we would like them as the correct dates. Now, if you look into these invalid dates, you from looking at them, you should know that they are invalid because they were entered in the DMY format, which is not the correct format. The correct format should be the MDY format, the month, date, year. That is what Excel accepts by default. Okay, but how do we change all of this to the correct format without having to re-enter it manually? As that will take too long. What I want you to do is highlight all the invalid dates, come over to the text to column box, or what I like to call the confession box, and press enter. And for now, you don't need to bother about choosing delimited or fixed width. Just press next. Then here, just make sure that everything here is unticked. So I'm going to untick tab. Nothing should be ticked here. Then press next again, and then come over to dates. And why I call it the confession box is that to correct it, what we need to do is confess the the invalid format it was entered in. So it was entered in the invalid format DMY. Here they entered the day, then the month, then the year. So we're going to choose DMY. Okay, let me go back here. DMY. Then you can press finish. And you can see it corrects all the dates to the proper format. As you can see here. They are all in the valid format, and they've all been stored as dates. Okay, now let's come to case 2 here. So we have another example of what we just did. We have some invalid dates entered in an invalid format. Okay, so it's the same process. Highlight them, come over to text to column tab. Don't bother about this for now. Make sure everything is unticked. Confess your sins, or confess the invalid format, and that's DMY. Finish. And again, it has been entered in the right format and it has been stored as a date. Okay, now let's come over to case 3. Go back up. Case 3, and here um we also have invalid formats, but this time if you look closely, you notice that the invalid format it is entered in is not DMY this time. It is Y. It is YMD. You have the year, then the month, then the day. That is the incorrect format it has been entered in. Okay, so what we're going to do again is highlight this invalid dates, come over to date, text to column. Don't bother about this for now. Make sure everything is unticked. Next. And change it to YMD. We're confessing our sins here. And finish. And you can see again it has been converted to the proper format and stored as a date. Okay, so that's it for this tab. Let's move to sheet 4. That is for this sheet. Let's move to sheet 4. And what we have here, we have some dates, some amounts, and if you look closely, you notice that some have been entered in the correct format like this. It has been entered in the correct format, while others have not. And you know they've not because they have not been, you can't see the slash, the forward slash, you can't see the they don't look the same. When a date is entered in the correct format, you have these two slashes, this one and this one, but this one still have dots separating them, so you know they are not in the correct format. And plus, in like here, you can see that this is a day, this is a month, and this is a year. So some of them are not in the correct format, and we can actually use the is number formula from the last lesson. If you remember, enter the is number formula, and because all valid dates are numbers in Excel, if I enter this value, press enter and drag down, it shows which of those are numbers and not. Like this is not a number because it's false, and this is a number meaning it's a valid date. It shows those ones that are dates and those that are not valid dates. Okay, now you may say, okay, fine, why don't we just apply the text to column technique, just highlight all the invalid dates and the text to column techniques? Well, we can't do this because you should only apply the text to column technique on invalid dates. If you apply it on a valid date, it's going to mess it up. It's going to change that to an invalid date. And let me show you what I mean. So right here we have a valid date. We have a valid date row 14 here, surrounded by two invalid dates. Okay. And here let me just write out what day this valid date is. um this is the 12th of May. So I'm just going to write out 12th of May. Okay, 12th of May. And let me bring out these dates actually. I'm going to copy them and bring them right here. Let me expand this. And here we have the valid dates surrounded by the two invalid dates. And notice what happens if I try and apply the text to column techniques with valid and invalid dates. I come to data, I go to text to column, next, nothing is ticked, next, date, I confess my sins of DMY, and when I press finish, notice what happened. What was supposed to be 12th of May 2009 has changed to 5th of December 2009, right? This is now 5th of December since it's MDY. So 5th of December 2009. So what this means is that if you apply the text to column technique on an already valid data, it's going to corrupt it. As you can see, this cell is different from the original cell. Okay, now let me remove this. So you may say, how do we now apply only on those invalid dates? Now some of you may say, okay, fine, Why don't we just highlight the whole data block, Control A, and why don't we filter the data block rather? Why don't we filter the data blocks and filter them only for false? Those are the invalid dates. But the problem with this, if you do this and you try and apply text to column, when you select these dates, you are selecting the valid dates in between them. So as you've selected everything here, you are also selecting cells that are not appearing here, the cells that your filter has hidden. So what we need to do instead, let me go back, is to sort them instead. So let me select it again, the data block again, then this time come to sort. Okay, now sort for what? Let me sort by what? Let me sort by status. And I'm going to sort based on a custom list being false and true. If you don't have this custom list, you can just add it to by using new list. So we have false and true. And now that I've sorted by false and true, okay, what you have here is that I now have the false dates coming before the true dates, so that I have the invalid dates first, then the valid dates. So now I can select only the invalid dates and apply text to column. I can now come to text to column. I can press next, ignore this, make sure nothing is ticked, next again, then confess my sins here of DMY, confess the invalid format, DMY, okay, and press finish. And now you can see that the it has been converted to the valid format because everything is true. Your is number formula is showing that everything is valid here. Okay, so that's it for today. We've looked at how to use the text to column feature to convert invalid dates to valid dates. Okay, so just remember how we use the text to column under data, and also remember the is number formula you can use to check for valid dates. Okay, so once again, I'd like to hear your feedback. um, Write a comment, send me an email or a message, and in the next lesson we'll be talking about dashboards. See you then.